Geeks with beards, geeks with beards. Look who's here, geeks with beards. No need to fear, we're right here. We got beards, so listen clear. Geeks with beards, geeks with beards.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Comic Corner, where we're talking Thundercats Silverhawks number 2 from Dynamite Entertainment. As you can see here, we've got a great cover again. Just so awesome. We've got half a Thundercat, half a Silverhawk on this cover. It's just amazing. So we'll jump right into it, guys. We'll give you the credits page here. Who does what and where. And we'll jump right into it. We're at Hawk Haven, planetoid headquarters of the Silverhawks. And basically, we have Stargazer, Steelheart, Steel Wheel, Bluegrass, and Hot Wing all on a, kind of have a meeting here. And Stargazer's like, look, I've lost, contact with Quicksilver, Chromium, and Copper Kid. He's like, I don't know what's going on, but they've, disobeyed orders. Like, I need you guys to go find out what's going on with them, So, that's basically, and he tells Bluegrass, like, hey, hang on a second, Bluegrass. He's like, we're actually going into restricted territory here. So, but, there is an anomaly, so that our teammates went to investigate. So deserve some investigation. He's like, learn what you can. And he's like, once you're in orbit, he's like, can't hurt to do some more scans of the planet. So, he's telling Bluegrass, do what you got to do. And then we get back into above Third Earth at Hawk Haven. And we've got Panthro talking to a Burble, find out what's going on. And it's just like, he's like, finally, work is done and just in time. He's like, the skies of Third Earth are getting too crowded around here. And he's like, keep scanning, collect as much information as you can. He's like, then we can act. And then we get back to Stargazer. And he's just like, just what a mess, He's like, I don't like sending them out blind like this, but, got to do what I got to do. He's like, this system looks familiar. Like, I think I've seen this before. He's like, oh, no. It can't be. He recognizes where they're going to. He's like, so help me, Quicksilver, when I get my hands on you. And then we pick back up from our last issue. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to rip you in two. Well, sorry. Lino already did that. And of course, we have, a Dark Bird talking to Copper Kid. And he's like, Silverhawk? He's like, yeah. He's like, this unit's been deployed, to support a fallen Silverhawk. He's like, you stand down, Copper Kid. I'm here, to take over now. And then out of the side over here, some ads. Out of the side over, we get Chitara. She's like, I'm the only thing that you're going to be fighting. Observing two hostiles. Tiger, she's reporting to Tigress saying that there's two hostiles. And, she sees Bengali where he's been felled by the Dark Bird. And then she's like, where's Lino? And she goes to attack the Dark Bird. Of course, it doesn't really do too well for her. She's kind of just bounced right off of him there, It just keeps fighting. And, she's like, oh, well, let's try these claws. She, just shreds him, or tries to shred him at least. But doesn't do anything. It actually hurts her hands when she does that. And then we see that Steel Wheel shows up. And the Dark Bird unit says, look, I've taken command of this mission. Don't need you. But Chitara takes a kick right at Steel Wheel. And Steel Wheel's like, what? And so they start fighting a little bit, And of course, the Dark Bird is like, engage support, accessing Black Hawk. Which Black Hawk is the ship that's above Third Earth. That, belongs to the Dark Bird. And, Chitara's like, oh no, she's getting her sixth sense that something's getting ready to attack. So she gets out of the way. Well, I thought she was getting out of the way. But what she does is she jumps and lands real hard and kicks up like some piece of ground or whatever, and it just boom. Just takes up the, avoids the attack there. He's like, Steel was like, what the hell? What is that? So that is what happens when you attack a Thundercat. And of course, she just keeps going, boom, 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 attacking. Unfortunately, the Dark Bird's a little quick, a little strong. And he's like, the sentence is death. It will be carried out immediately. And then we get cute little Snarf. Snarf attacks. Actually, it looks like he gets a little bite in on the Darkbird there for a minute. Of course, Darkbird just smacks him away. Mean Darkbird. But then we get, a little bit of electricity because of the attack that Snarf did. Kind of damaged the Darkbird a little bit. And Darkbird's like, okay, teleport. So he teleports Steel Wheel and Copper Kid and what's left of Quicksilver out of there. And then we see that Chitara is checking on Bengali. And she's like, wait, Snarf, what happened to you? You're little bitty. She's like, I heeded the call of the Sword of Omens. Like, but where's Lino at? So, more ads, sorry about that. And then Lino pops up. He's like, oh, hey, what's up, Chitara? Because if you remember last issue, Copper Kid turned him into a kid himself. And she's like, oh, no. She's like, he's like, oh, no, nothing's changed. He's like, I'm still the Lord of the Thundercats, the same as I was earlier. He's like, that metallic boy made me little bitty. And she's like, things are not as they once were. I do not believe they ever will be. And then we go back above Third Earth, Hawk Haven, and we've got Panthro and the Burble. They're scanning, checking some more stuff out. And he's like, look, enough's enough. He's like, I'm tired of all these ships coming through here unannounced. He's like, I'm taking some action because he's got the weapons finally activated up on Hawk Haven. And basically, he's like, any more vessels come through here, I'm taking them down. And then we get, they've teleported back. Darkbird's finally got them teleported away. And Steel Wheel kind of just questions, like, what's going on? And Darkbird's like, Quicksilver went down. I was activated. And Steel Wheel's like, I just thought you guys were, like a rumor. I didn't think you guys were real or whatever. Because this is, the past. And these things are from the future. So, kind of giving a breakdown of it and everything. And then we got Copper Kid shows up. And then we see that... I'm sorry, that was Steelheart, wasn't it? I apologize. I just forgot. Yeah, Steelheart shows up. And... am I right? Yeah, Steelheart shows up. And Steelheart's going to Mum-Ra's Pyramid to investigate some stuff, readings that they got over there. Well, what Steelheart doesn't know is that we've got, a few of the gray members of the Thundercats here. We got the Thunder Kittens over here. And they do a little bit of a tag. They start fighting a little bit, get a little bit of a fight going on. And then we see that we're back at Cat's Lair. Tiger's talking to Panthro. And then we see that Chitara is carrying Bengali with a little bitty kid, Lino and Snarf with them. Sorry. Snarf there with them. They go inside. And we see Tiger is talking to him. He's like, yeah, He's like, gotta keep an eye, And then boom. He's like, oh, I wasn't the only one that was hiding. He's like, Copper Kid. Copper Kid's like, what? Me? How did you see me? And that's how we end the issue. This book is really good. All three of the Thundercats Silverhawk books are good. This is kind of like the main book here, the main crossover book, and then you've got the Mum-Ra, the Ever Living, which is basically focuses on his origin story, how he became Mum-Ra that we know from the cartoon and from the comics and stuff. And then of course Thunderhawks is the future, in the future, with the Lost Crew trying to find a way back to fix the future, because as you know, in the future the Silverhawks are pretty much martial law, what they say goes, and the Thunderians are kind of almost second class citizens, slaves in a way. It's a bad life for them, very bad life for them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below, what is your favorite of the three books that they're doing right now. And yeah, so until next time, guys, good reading.
Geeks with beards, geeks with beards. Look who's here, geeks with beards. No need to fear, we're right here. We got beards, so listen clear. Geeks with beards, geeks with beards.